My name's Colin Gould,
And I'm Justin Balderas.
and our lesson is over MP1, which is making sense of problems and persevering in solving them. Just like touch the screen. So we did a couple of different math problems. We had a first grade level, which is what we're both observing in right now, and then we had a higher level math problem as well. So we're going to show how we can kind of take a look at that and use MP1. Our first grade level question is: Johnny has $5. He wants to buy a soda from the store. The soda costs $1.49. How much change will Johnny get back from the cashier? So there's a couple different ways you can do this, but the easiest way would probably be just using subtraction. So you would take $5 and then you would subtract $1.49 from that, and you can get either A, $1.99, B, $2.34, C, $4.50, or D, $3.51. And then you need to explain your answer. So when I did subtraction, I got D, $3.51. And how I knew to use subtraction is because you gave $5 and you're getting change back. So it has to be less than what you started out with. So you need to subtract the $1.49 to get your answer.
And then for our higher level thinking math problem, we did Rashida has $3 and she wants to buy packets of Kool-Aid for 25 cents each. How many packets of Kool-Aid will she be able to buy? And we have A, 4 packets, B, 7 packets, C, 12 packets, or D, 20 packets. And the younger grades are probably going to use repeated addition or subtraction, and they're probably going to have to use counters or draw a picture. And then for the higher grades like 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they could use multiplication or division. I personally used division, and I got C, 12 packets.
So what is MP1? Mathematical Practice 1 involves making sense of the problems and persevering in solving them. And this entails figuring out the meaning of a problem and looking for a starting point to finding its solution. So when you look at the problem, you got to look about what it's asking, and then you can kind of judge where you need to start and what your goal is.
And then analyze the information given along with constraints and goals. This helps finding the steps of solving the problem instead of simplifying and guessing. This goes along with the last one. Basically, this one tells you, or you're going to try to figure out how you're going to solve it, like whether you can do multiplication or addition or subtraction or division.
And then consider changes or simplifications of the original problem to gain insight. So this means just looking at it a different way. Maybe if you are having trouble one way, try a different way. It may work out better for you. So.
And then check progress and change course if necessary. This is when this whiteboard stuff.
This kind of goes along with that last one as well. If you're having trouble and you start getting through your answer and you realize, this doesn't look anything like it should, that's kind of when you need to reassess what you're doing and maybe try a different problem. You may need to start all over again, and that's okay. I mean, you want to get the right answer, so.
And then younger students may rely on concrete objects or pictures to conceptualize problems. So basically the younger grades, they'll probably have to use counters or base blocks or some kind of manipulative to help them understand the problem and what's going on in the process that goes along with it.
And more proficient students or higher level students, they may use a different form or a different method to solve the same problem to check their answers. So like in multiplication problems, you may use division to check your answers. Addition and subtraction can be used to check each other's answers as well. So.
Adapting for K through 6th grade. Talk about facts given and the questions being asked within the problem. So whenever you look at the problem, you want to see what facts are important, what facts you want to pull out, and then you want to see what questions are really being asked for in the problem.
Yeah, and you should do this all the time with your students when you're learning a new concept. This is very important. So this is all stuff that you should do in your classroom through K through 6. Discuss why and how you would solve a problem using a certain strategy that goes along with his. If you're doing addition, you should know why you're doing addition. If you're doing subtraction, you should know why.
Figure out which method of solving a problem is the easiest for the student. So basically, the student, they're going to use their cognitive thinking, and they're going to see which way makes more sense to them and if it makes sense with the problem. So like, would it make sense to use addition, and would it be easier to use multiplication? So they're going to go through that thought process.
Give example problems and model problem solving processes while asking meaningful questions. So you definitely want to model everything first before you just throw your students out to try it. You model it. You also ask questions, meaningful questions, why you're doing the things you're doing, why this step goes before this step, and it helps the students learn how to do the problem correctly quicker.
And then you want to monitor the students' progress and their understanding of the problems. And there's lots of ways you can do this. You can have them show you on whiteboards, or you can just kind of glance over their shoulders to see if they're getting the right answers. You could do exit slips, but you want to make sure what your students are understanding, so you need to know if you need more practice or if you're ready to move on.
Okay, and then celebrate success and effort. Don't just celebrate just the successes, because everybody's trying. You want to make sure that they're you celebrate at least them trying. So,
implementing of SIOP methods.
Use clear language and content objectives written visibly in front of the class. You want to make sure your students know what they're striving to learn and to be able to do from that class that day.
Allow for manipulations and visuals for all students. It's important for regular students, but it's going to be even more important for those ELL students. Having manipulative things and pictures and visuals for them is going to really help them understand what they're trying to solve and how they're solving it.
Use appropriate proficiency levels for all students, even ELL. All students are at different levels, so you need to make sure you teach to that level for every kid, so every kid has the advantage from one another. You want to make sure that every kid is able to learn the information, and that's one way to do that.
And then you want to make sure the students are engaged for the majority of the time. You really just don't want to have them sitting there as you're up there lecturing. You want to have their hands moving, you want to have them discussing them, you want to be asking them questions and have them ask questions.
And use scaffolding models to make sure ELL students are ready to move on to the higher levels. If they don't know the basics, they're not going to be able to get higher level learning processes. So you want to make sure they get the basics first.
And then you want to use collaborative learning in your room. You want them to be able to discuss with their peers, or discuss with you, or discuss with their group of what's going on, and be able to check each other's understandings as well.
Okay. And then that is it. Those are our sources, and that's it.
Thank you.